Sometimes you feel the need for speed. As in real speed, pare. Minsan, 100 kilometers an hour just won't cut it. 40 horses just won't cut it. Di rin uubra ang cornering na pabebe. Pag ganyan na ang bilis na gusto mo, kailangan mo nang sumabak sa mundo ng superbikes. At pag sinabi namin na superbikes, talagang super ang mga motor na to.
Ako si Paolo Obrera at ito ang Ride Mo To. Sa linggong ito, iiwan muna natin ang mundo ng mga commuter bikes at mga kalsada sa syudad dahil dito muna tayo sa racetrack para masubukan natin ang ilan sa pinakamabilis na bikes na mabibili mo ngayon sa Pilipinas. These bikes are 1,000 cc's with at least 180 horsepower and enough torque to haul Godzilla from here to Mount Everest. Ito ang Kawasaki ZX-10R at ito naman ang Suzuki GSX-R1000. Guys, hindi pang newbie sa mga bikes na ito. In fact,
As a matter of fact,
Prof.
Hi Paolo, hindi pwedeng ni-drive yan kung sino-sino without proper training.
tama si Prof. Kaya naman extra special ang ating guest for our Fast and Furious episode. Isa siyang ex-professional superbike racer na ngayon ay coach na ng mga up-and-coming na karerista.
At walang iba yon kundi si Coach Joey Storm Rivero.
Idol nating lahat yan. Kita nyo naman, hitik na hitik ang ating episode. Kaya kapit na mga kamotor dahil aarangkada na ang
Ride Mo To! Let's ride na!
Para masagad natin ang mga capabilities ng mga superbikes na ito, it's better if we have it tested by a legit racer. At maswerte tayo dahil meron tayong kasamang kilalang karirista. Walang iba kundi si Joey Storm Rivero. Joey!
Hey bro, how are you?
Thank you for your
Hi,
time,
bro.
brother. Thanks for being here. Joey,
It's an honor to be here, man.
magpakilala ka naman. How did you get into riding? How long has it been?
Well, I started riding way back 2003
Okay.
and nagsimula ako, maliit na motor din. I started riding an underbone and then somewhere between 2000, I think it's 2014, I got on a
Move up
big
ka na.
bike. Yeah.
Okay, at how far did you go in your pro career? I mean, medyo matagal ka rin naging fixture sa
Yes.
local race scene.
Umabot ako hanggang sa Philippine Superbike Championship.
nice.
I did the novice class and I think intermediate and of course also master class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you left your mark on the local race scene and now you're leaving your mark on the coaching scene
Yes,
because you
yes.
are the man to see sa mga riders na gustong lumevel up, you know, to pick up some training, whether you're a track rider, an aspiring racer, or just anybody who's looking for extra training, di ba?
Yeah. Actually, it was a passion for me to share what I know, what I learned and experienced, and of course, the schools that I attended. And I'm proud to say that the school is really doing very well, no? Not only for regular riders, but we also have budding racers who's making their mark at the local races nowadays.
Yun ang maganda. Any proper instruction and track time will benefit you, whether
Yes.
aspiring kang karerista
Yeah.
or just a regular
Yes, exactly.
weekend rider or commuter.
Yes, exactly.
Ang laking benepisyo niyan.
Everything's dangerous as long as you don't know exactly what you're doing, but as long as you've trained for it, prepared for it, the danger factor of it would really scale down. Funny enough, during our time, there was not really any riding schools, so we really had to figure out how to turn, kanya-kanyang aral, paano mag-banking, no? And I only got to train on formal racing schools or riding schools when I retired from actually racing. Right now, of course, the system that we do on our training is we explain and make riders understand how our technique works, how the bike responds to each rider input they do, so that they trust the technique. Kasi if you understand how it works, definitely you will trust the technique and you will apply it. Right now, even it's been around for quite some time. The racing scene in the Philippines for me is still young. It's still growing, and the grid right now, the superbike grid, is actually gaining more support, more traction, and hopefully in the coming years we will see more racers or riders getting into this sport. Thrill of racing is it's a mix of adrenaline, a little bit of bravado, but most importantly, hard work, focus, and of course, a lot of heart.
This is the Suzuki GSX-R1000R, ang baddest bike sa GSX-R lineup ng Suzuki. Ito raw ang fastest production bike on the planet right now in terms of acceleration. Sa isang test kasi, kinuha ng motor na ito ang 0 to 100 km per hour in just 2.35 seconds. Meron siyang 1000cc engine na kayang maglabas ng 199 horsepower at 13,000 RPM at torque na umaabot sa 87 foot-pounds at 10,800 RPM. Pagsakay mo pa lang dito sa GSX-R1000 o GSX-R, ramdam mo kaagad ang difference niya sa Ninja. This is a lighter bike that carries its weight well. It has more compact dimensions with a slimmer frame and body. It handles very well on the straights and the corners. Pero you need to make sure that your suspension setup is adjusted properly, as this is a racing machine, sensitive sa suspension changes ang GSX-R. Kung tama ang settings ng suspension mo, well, this bike will reward you with excellent handling. It also takes a while to adjust to the traction control of the GSX-R. You can feel the ECU or engine control unit cutting power when the rear wheel is not hooking up to the road surface. Kaya dapat tama rin ang adjustment mo sa traction control. You can also feel the torque that this bike can give, ang lakas ng hatak niya. It can give you massive acceleration when you put its settings to the max. Another very good feature of the GSX-R is the clutchless quick shifter that works in both upshifts and downshifts. Very useful ang quick shifter sa karera dahil hindi mo na kailangan pigain ang clutch at bitawan ang throttle para makapag-shift sa higher gears.
Joey, nice one. Ang sarap mong panoorin on the track, brother. You really put the bike through its paces.
Thank you.
Now, alam naman natin na kilala mo na siguro ang mga GSX-Rs, especially these big GSX-Rs from the Suzuki family. What are your impressions of this current version of the GSX-R1000?
Well, bro, actually this is a new bike for Suzuki. It's coming from a long line. This is a new platform. The frame, the shot, the suspension, everything's new.
So there's no carryovers from the previous version. I mean, they've really redesigned the bike.
Yeah, I believe it's just the legend, the legend of the GSX-R being the Japanese bad boy. Pero ito, bro, I'm really impressed with the handling, the power. I mean, it's all there. And it's armed with electronics to the teeth.
Okay. As an experienced track rider, and of course, somebody who also believes that anything you learn on the track is applicable
Yes,
in
of
the
course,
street,
of course.
ano yung mga features that you think really makes it a special bike to have on track that also translates well to street riding?
Well, that would be the electronics, the technology on the bike. It has an IMU, an inertial measurement unit,
Okay.
that dictates the wheel spin, allowable wheel spin, or yung traction control,
Okay.
no? And then,
So binabasa niya yung iba-ibang axis, how far
Yes,
you're leaned
yes.
over, how fast
Yeah,
you're going, is
yeah,
there any
yes.
slip happening on the
you
rear
cannot
wheel?
you cannot over throttle the bike. If you're leaned over, the bike dictates how much power
Okay, okay.
mapupunta sa rear wheel.
Alright.
Because of the IMU, and of course also the ABS.
Okay.
This is level 3 ABS. It's cornering ABS na. Race they call it race ABS na.
Okay.
Even if you're leaned over, you grab on the brakes, the bike won't stand up or slide or whatever. It's just gonna slow down, man.
The bike does a lot of the thinking for you.
Yes,
So sasabayin ka
exactly.
talaga.
This has riding modes, right? So you can actually it's a preset riding mode.
Right.
You can select modes that will really work wonders in the
Okay,
street.
so merong bagay sa track, merong
Yeah,
bagay sa street.
Exactly. So you can actually even fine tune it if you want it to be customized to your riding style. You can really do it with this bike.
Nakakaingit. Kita nyo naman, buti pa si Joey naka-test ride na ng mga superbikes. Buti na lang, dalawa ang i-feature natin mga sport bikes. We have another one here. In fact, I tested a smaller displacement version of our other featured bike in the very first episode of Ride Moto. This is a 1000cc bike that we're going to be featuring next. So believe me, it is a big bike.
Up next, susubukan naman natin ang Kawasaki ZX-10R Ninja. At aalamin natin kung anong gear ang kailangan sa paggamit ng superbike.
Ito ang Kawasaki ZX-10R. Di tulad ng ibang mga motorcycle companies, hindi pa linalabas ng Kawasaki ang power ratings ng bike na ito. Pero ayon sa ilang motorcycle websites, aabot sa 197 horsepower ang kayang ibuga ng ZX-10R.
Kawasaki ZX-10R, also known as the Ninja, is an excellent sports bike. Isa sa pinakagusto ko about this bike is its power delivery. Swabing-swabe siya. Hindi jarring when shifting up gears or accelerating. Iba rin humatak ang Ninja. Very powerful pero hindi overwhelming. You'll never feel like you will lose control of the bike dahil na rin sa dami ng electronic rider aids na inilagay dito ng Kawasaki. A key component of keeping control is the suspension at excellent ang inilagay dito na front and rear suspension courtesy of Showa. When you're banking, the Ninja stays planted on the ground. Never a slight bounce, wiggle, or anything that would make you lose confidence. The brakes are another excellent source of control. Ang daling i-modulate ng Brembo ABS brakes niya dahil sa tinatawag na KIBS o Kawasaki Intelligent Braking System. Siyempre, kilala din ang mga sport bike sa angas ng tunog ng engine nila. At ang sarap naman talaga pakinggan ng exhaust notes ng ZX-10R, especially with the aftermarket exhaust na ikinabit sa review unit namin. All in all, this is an excellent sports bike that inspires confidence.
Nice one, Joey. Siyempre,
Okay,
ito naman ang pag-usapan natin, the legendary Ninja. And this is the biggest one of them all, the ZX-10R. Ang maganda dito, pamilyar na pamilyar ka dito sa ZX-10R because this is one of the bikes that you actually raced during your racing career.
Well, a newer version of the ZX-10R that I've been racing when I did the Philippine Superbike Championship.
Okay.
No? I'm really impressed with this new model.
This new model.
Kasi, alam mo, the strength of this bike is its linear power delivery, the handling, or with all the technology on this bike right now, quick shifting, the better traction, Kawasaki traction control, it's really mabait, no? Mas mabait siya ngayon. I'd say even if you're starting to get on superbikes, this is an ideal platform.
Okay, and that's one of the beauties of these modern superbikes is, of course, it's got different riding modes where you can really tailor and tune the bike to the way you want it to ride. So it can be ridden quite aggressively by a very experienced rider on track conditions. And you can also tailor the power to suit you if you are getting into sport bikes, superbikes, and also make it friendlier for the street. Yung Ninja, meron siyang legend that surrounds it. What is the hallmark of the ZX-10R or of the Ninja?
Well, number one
in
the
general?
World Superbike, no? They're back-to-back champions. Four-peat na, no? Si Jonathan Ray on the Kawasaki racing team on a ZX-10R. And aside from that, these bikes really made a name before, di ba? If you see a sport bike before, they call it, wow, ganda ng Ninja.
Ninja.
Mo, it's like that.
Okay, if you had to choose one feature that really stands out, like we said, it's really hard to nitpick at bikes at this level because they are just loaded with so much technology. If you could center on one particular feature of the bike that you really would say, this is a feature on the bike that I'd like to sort of really underline and talk about.
Well, of course, with the Kawasaki ZX-10R, it's always about the power delivery. It's very linear. Ibig sabihin, bro, sobrang smooth ng power delivery. Because of that, even when you're in the corner, while other bikes are off, riders are off the throttle, you can actually get on the throttle. That's sobrang smooth ng power delivery niya. And that gives you better, speed on your exit, good cornering abilities on the ZX-10R.
Okay. Masaya ang mag-racing, pero kung hindi ka prepared at properly geared up, maaaring mapahamak ka. So before you head to the racetrack, make sure you gear up properly. At iilan lang dyan ang essential equipment na kinakailangan mo. Pag-usapan natin yan, Prof.
Yes, at meron tayo dito manikin para pakita sa kanila lahat kung ano ba itsura ng proper safety gear.
Okay.
Now, there's three things that you have to remember. Safety, performance, and comfort. Now, all of that, nandito yan sa suit na yan.
Okay.
First off is, of course, yung helmet. Now, hindi lang basta kahit anong helmet, okay na. There are ratings for that globally recognized all over the world, especially for racing. ECE, DOT, tsaka SNEL. Yan lang yung kailangan nyo hanapin na rated. May sticker yan sa likod, kaya marirecognize ninyo kung ito ba ay rated properly. Di ba ang gwapo pag naka-full suit na ganito? This is the highest form of safety equipment for any motorcycle rider. Let's start with the cover. Ito, hindi lang basta-basta kahit anong material to. Hindi to tela. This is leather. This is thick leather. The full body leather cover protects every inch of your body from burning, scraping, and abrasions and everything. Kaya makikita mo from neck all the way down to your ankles, leather lahat yan. Let's not forget the next thing, padding. Now, merong mga contact points na kung saan yung impact nangyayari. Pag sumemplang ka, andyan yung shoulder,
Subok na. Matibay.
andyan yung elbow,
Matibay.
andyan yung knee.
Ang tibay na manikin natin.
Minsan meron ding hip.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now, ang purpose nito is to protect those corners of the body. Kumbaga, they have padding sa loob na soft para ma-absorb yung impact. And meron din silang hard material like plastic, metal. And the good ones are actually titanium. Mahal yun. Pero maganda yun, magaang. Now, those do the job of absorbing all the impact and spreading it on a wider surface para hindi mo masyado maramdaman. The most you'll probably get is pasa ng konti. Pero you won't get broken bones or any fractures or anything like that. That's all on the corners. Meron din dito, Mr. Mannequin, could you turn around? Meron din dito padding. This serves two purposes. Actually, three pa nga sa iba. One is to protect the back. Para siyang back protector.
Okay.
Second is, it also helps with aerodynamic.
Kitang-kita nyo naman ang korte niyan.
Ay, pag nakaganon, di ba may helmet ka, so nandun nakaka...
Masunurin tong manikin natin.
So yung hangin dadaan dyan. Now, some racers, the really professional ones, may electronic stuff yan dito. So, it protects your back, helps with aerodynamics, and sends data to your computer in the paddock para ma-analyze yung riding style. Di ba ang cool?
Akalain mo yun.
So high-tech. Okay. Mr. Mannequin, could you? There you go. Okay. Now, all the way down sa paa, huwag natin kalimutan yung paa. Meron tayong racing boots. Now, the purpose of this is to protect your ankles and your feet from any sliding or crashing. Meron diyang thick parts dito sa harap. Mr. Mannequin, could you turn around?
Masunurin talaga naman.
Masunurin ang mannequin niya. Meron din yung sa heel, matigas din niya, sa likod. And then, could you turn around again, Mr. Mannequin? And meron din siya dito sa side dito. These two particular, gusto ko sabihin sa inyo to. Eto, dual purpose siya. It's used to slide. Pag nagli-lean talaga. Yung talaga nagli-lean na gano'n. Tapos,
Okay.
tawag doon knee drag. O kaya elbow drag na tinatawag. But it also serves as an additional protection in case you slide. Itong dalawa yan, basically. So, overall, ito ang full protection na makukuha mo on a full racing suit and a helmet when you wanna go race in the racetrack.
Pero siguraduhin mo kung mangangarera ka sa racetrack at hindi
Sa kalye, mali yun. Racetrack, not on the street.
Up next, sino sa dalawang superbikes ang panalo sa bilis at forma? Stay tuned to find out. At may experiment din si Prof. M. Gaano ba kadelikado ang balat ng saging para sa riders? Stay tuned dito sa Ride Mo To.
Alright, we've got two sport bikes down. Sinubukan natin ang Kawasaki ZX-10R at ang Suzuki GSX-R1000. Kakaibang experience tong mga bikes na to, Prof!
Kakaiba talaga. Pati kayo kakaiba. Pinapanood ko kayo ni Joey. Ang gwapo, ang galing. Mukha kayong Power Ranger, Transformer, superhero kind of thing.
Actually, matindi ang forma factor pagdating sa race leathers at sa mga sport bikes. Pero wag natin kalimutan ang performance talaga ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. That burst of speed, acceleration, all that power, and of course, the razor-sharp handling. Kakaibang experience talaga.
That's very interesting. Speaking of interesting, meron akong experiment na tungkol sa pag-iwas sa aksidente at mga pangyayari on the road pag nagra-ride tayo. Wanna know what it is?
Ano nga ba yan? Hindi natin kasi masasabi. Minsan, mga maliliit na bagay lang ang nagiging sanhi ng aksidente.
Maliit talaga.
May baon ka pa.
Ito ang aking bagong experiment. Pero hindi ito.
Oh.
Ito. Panoorin mo to. Panoorin niyo to. Ito mo.
Hindi na. Panoorin ko na lang.
Okay. Watch this. Isa sa pinaka-importanting ginagawa natin pag nagmomotor tayo, ang pagpepreno or yung tinatawag na pagbe-brake. Pagbe-brake. Masakit yun. Pero hindi yun ang pag-usapan natin ngayon. Ang pagpepreno ay napaka-importante para tumigil ng tama ang motor pag nagra-ride tayo. Marami kasi tayong dinadaanan na kung ano-ano na negatibo ang effect pag nagbe-brake tayo. Tulad ng buhangin, bato, langis at kung ano-ano pa. Sa episode na to, pag-uusapan natin ang isang bagay na nadadaanan natin paminsan-minsan na madulas. Ang balat ng saging. Alam nating madulas siya, pero madulas ba siya enough para sumemplang tayo pag dinaanan natin siya? Aalamin natin yan. Pero bago nun, tingnan muna natin ano ba ang itsura ng normal na pagpepreno. It's experiment time! Yan ang itsura ng pag nagpepreno ng normal. Walang balat ng saging. Pero, kailangan natin ng balat ng saging. Saan ba dito meron? Aha! Okay, simulan na natin. Do not do this at home. Ginagawa ko to para sa inyo, para hindi nyo na kailangan gawin. Okay? Do not do this at home under any circumstance. Tingnan na natin. madulas nga. At ito, medyo umuulan pa. Mag-ingat kayo, madulas nga ang saging. Stay safe all the time. Iwasan ang mga ganyan, okay? I'm Prof. M. Let's ride na!
Prof, ang ganda ng eksperimento mo pero hindi ko mag-gets Paki-explain nga, ano ba talaga ang lesson ng eksperimento mo?
Isa lang naman yung tinuturo ko Huwag kakain ng saging sa racetrack.
Tama! Well, hindi mo madedenay, ang tindi ng episode natin at super tindi rin ng mga super bikes na pinakita natin. Talagang super, kaya feeling very superhero tayo, parang the Justice League.
Or Super Friends.
Pwede rin, pero alam mo, Avengers na yata ang kilala ng mga kabataan ngayon.
Pwede ako si Hulk?
Pwede. O, paano mga karay, mga katropa at mga kamotor? Hanggang dito na lang ang episode natin. Tune in again next week dito sa nag-iisang show for riders and soon to be riders, ang Ride Mo To! See you next week!